The first thing I'm gonna talk about is not the usual this time, not aesthetic, not articulation, not on the accessories, but the assembling experience. As I mentioned in the unboxing video, Bandai designed a face-by-face assembling procedure, and I thought it was just going to be the routine of finding parts on runners with each step. Well, it's still that, but wildly optimized. Before each face of a body part, the manual will state every runners it needs clearly, which runners will be fully used in this step, which ones you are only going to need a few parts. Most of the runners will be fully used in just one phase, and if you are confident in Gunpla parts finding, there is absolutely no problem for you to just cut off all the parts, deal with the knob, then assemble it. Bandai breaks down big runners into several small ones. Like here, each small runner will be used in one phase. There will be logos of body parts to help you know which body part use this small runner. After knowing which body part will use this small runner, you can just snap it out. Whenever you finished a runner, the manual will notice you, and you can toss that runner away. All these changes make the assembling experience shockingly smoother and more enjoyable than ever before. I am confident this takes much more time to assemble than the Wing Gundam EW Verka, but I felt like this was a quicker assembly just because how seamless the experience was. Pre-assembled skeletons also decrease the time need drastically. Next is aesthetic. Phase 1 and Phase 2 are combined into one stage. There are a total number of 4 stages: the normal frames, the truth frame on, all the parts assembled, and all the opening hatches opened. We will be looking at them one by one. Stage 1 is a rather typical looking Gunpla frame. Decent, I would call it a perfect frame just at this stage. Of course, there will be more pegs and holes than there are details, but that is because we need the truth frame in the next stage to fill them up. You can see a lot of hydraulic tubes working more clearly at this stage because there is no truth frame or armor covering them up. I have to say, this looks quite eye-catching. The slight color difference between deep gray and light gray, some chrome parts, champagne gold here and there, you don't even need to paint them and they are already amazing. Now, stage 2. Stage 2 is all the truth frame installed. Well, what can I say? This thing speaks for itself. In the past, no matter how detailed and exquisite the frame is, the color always looks dull. Even the old PGs barely have any color separation on their frame. However, this one has color complexity. Pre-painted silver truth frame and metallic injection iron frame added to the already detailed skeleton. Chrome finish parts here and there to give it that extra glimmer. The sense of realism brought up by the champagne gold. The metallic etching stickers give us that thin and metal shine no plastic part can pull out. If this is not the perfect frame, I don't know what is. It is the best looking inner frame I have ever seen in a built out of box Gunpla. The third stage is all the parts assembled, and we can finally talk about aesthetic in a normal fashion. Here are all the accessories. It does not come with a bazooka. The figures of Sela and Amulo are detailed adequately. The pose of Amulo is the pose from that classic 79 poster. The curvy design philosophy is best performed on the core fighter. The red and green stickers on each side of the core fighter and the suit are navigation lights for informing others whether if it is heading towards them or flying away from them. Details and panel lines on the core fighter are not as jammed as the outer armor, so I like this better. You can pull out the missile launcher on the back. You can also open the cockpit hatch. You can flip the seat so the direction will be right for piloting 78. To transform the fighter into the cockpit, you just need to first retract all the undercarriages, then retract the head. Push both wings inwards and they can cover the undercarriages. Fold them in and turn the head around, and it's done. This kit also comes with a cockpit that cannot be transformed. You can choose freely for which one will be displayed outside and which one will be in the cockpit. Sight of hands is the standard. Beam saber holding hand, open hand, gun holding hand, fist. A lot of people might be disappointed by the fact there is no articulated hand, but I don't mind that. I just love the way they made this. Chrome finished inner skeleton covered by the gray armor showing only the joints. The deep blue top armor showing a few areas of chrome finished skeleton. they look absolutely fantastic. The rifle is built mainly with deep blue parts, lighter gray for the handle, gold parts for the barrel and the connection piece, 3 joints for the scope. Though I am not sure why would you need that level of articulation for the scope, but hey, it's there and it's nice. I'm not sure what these tools are. I'm just going to call this a battery and this a handle. Correct me in the corner. For the handle, you can rotate it. You can also pull out to do this. You can open the hatch of the battery, pull the trigger and spin this thing to get it out. The shield is pretty curvy. You can move the cover plate for the see-through hole up and down. You can also slide the handle up and down. The connection arm has multiple joints to move freely. It uses a very strong magnet to attach to the arm. When I say strong, I mean it. This is a 131-gram knife, and the magnet can hold it no problem. So you can count on it to do the heavy lifting no problem. As usual, they can be attached onto the back. The first impression of this kit when I see the publicity pictures is fragmentization. Gradation colors, 2 kinds of white, 2 kinds of red, 2 kinds of yellow. Classic RG style. Armor with a ton of pino lines and details. It is also pretty curvy. We have this round bump on the shoulder armor. The shield is not made with flat lines. Even the backpack does not have any straight lines. I do like broken pieces of armor detail and pino lines, stickers, water slide decals, but the curvy aspect of it was really hard to swallow for me. However, after building it, I am starting to take a liking. They didn't just slap chrome finish parts, metal etching parts, and pre-painting pieces all over the place. You can see all the metal etching parts when you take a careful look. All the parts are only used as joints. A very limited number of metal parts is also used, 4 pieces to be exact. The 2 Vulcans on the head and the thrusters on the back. I really like this ocean blue color. The way they treated details are quite modern, but the overall body shape is not. Most modern designs are slim and long legs with very humanoid chest, like the Beyond Global or the G40, but this one's body shape stays loyal to the original design much more, much like the OG Perfect Gray. I appreciate this choice. The most noticeable difference beside all the curves is the chest exhaust ports. They took a more GBN base Gundam fashion here. There are 2 lights in this kit, one on the beam saber handle and the other will be placed inside of the chest. The battery for the saber uses this long cylinder battery, Panasonic BR435. Manual says this one comes in the box is only for testing, so I guess the light provided by this battery might be a bit dimmer. Let's turn down the light. The brightness of this saber is enough for the effect part. Looks pretty good. This light is also responsible for the backpack lighting. Just take out the normal beam saber handle and put this one in. This one's connection is way looser than the normal handle. I have to say that is some very dim light. Not even that noticeable unless you look into the thrusters directly. Could also just because the battery is only used for testing, and if you use a brand new battery it will be much brighter. But I don't have this kind in home, so can't say that for sure. The light for the chest uses 2 LR41 batteries. They don't come in the box, so you have to buy it separately. It has 4 modes. In the announcement trailer it says early ignition mode, normal ignition mode, high power mode, and maintenance mode, though I have no idea which is which. In order to install this light, you need to first take out the backpack, pull out the arms, get this plate off, pull out the head and the collar, get the light in this direction, and put them all back. In order to turn on the light after you installing it, just pull the cockpit hatch a bit, and it will turn on. Remember, after pulling it out, push it back immediately because long pull is turning off. The effect for the chest and the eyes are also pretty dim. You really have to turn off the lights to see them more clearly. Now for the most hyped final stage. Open all the hatches following the guide on the menu. These hatches are designed to show the truth frames and the details on the frame. I gotta give Bandai some credit with this truth frame they put in. Made the whole suit into another level. However, I do have some small complaints here. Might sound like nitpicking, but hear me out. Most hatches show something inside well, but not all do. Like the yellow parts on the front and back skirt armor. You can only see the connection piece after opening. It looks really weird. The placement of these hatches is not proportionate at all. A ton of hatches on the lower legs and barely any hatches on the arm. I feel like it would be much better if they made it proportionate. This stage looks cool and all, and it is no doubt one of the best open hatches Gunpla out there, but it is way too messy and broken for my taste. I will probably have the second or the third stage on my shelf, or half the body third stage and half the body second stage. Move on to articulations. The reason I put the articulations the last is simple. With all the tricks this kit has, the articulation doesn't really matter as much as most other Gunpla. To be honest, I feel like this goes for most large size kits, perfect grade, mega size and whatnot. Their most common placement posture on the shelf would be standing straight. The manual says it has the ultimate articulation capabilities in Gunpla history. Well, spoiler alert, it does not have that. Let's have a quick shout for all the articulations. Here we go. As you can see, decent, definitely not ultimate. That tilt on the waist is a new design. The problem of the core fighter interfering with the articulation has been existed for a very long time. This time they tried something new, but the movement here is still extremely limited. And the connection here is very weak. You cannot tilt it by just holding the legs. That's about everything I need to say about this kit. Layers and layers of details. Shiny parts, plastic parts and stickers. This look is fantastic, not to mention the absolutely brilliant inner frame. Combining those with all the opening hatches, really good. Well, aesthetic is always a very subjective thing to judge, but this one is damn close to the level of perfection. Even with the high price of 27,500 yen, it is worth it. That's about it. This is Senyo. See you all in the next one. Peace.